I don't know about you, but I think he's beautiful.
Me too.
He said, me too.
I spent...
This is Tom, by the way.
I spent 35 years of my life working in the medical profession with people who were psychologically dysfunctional. What I never told any of them was I was actually more dysfunctional than they were. I got frustrated by the kind of work I was doing because it just didn't seem to touch the spot. I even trained in Chinese medicine in the hope that that would touch the spot. And to some extent, the Chinese system does open that door, but actual practice of acupuncture is strictly three-dimensional. I knew when I got to the age of retiring, I just knew that my dysfunctionality as a psychiatrist was going to show up as a neurological problem, and of course it did. So it didn't come as the least bit of surprise to me when I developed Parkinson's, because Parkinson's was, as you know, is a neurological disorder. Then I came across the work of this genius, and I realized that conventional medicine is brilliant within the frame of reference that it works in. It does really brilliant things, good stuff. If I had a heart attack, I wouldn't want an acupuncturist coming to see me. But there's this whole range of conditions that conventional medicine is just not hitting at all. This gentleman's the cutting edge of where that's going in the future. I'm sitting with my developing Parkinson's, pains, tremors, general pissed offness, and looking at where could this actually develop. I can see children getting taught this in schools. I can see teachers not understanding it. I can see adults teaching their children this kind of thing. But there's ways to go. I may not be around to see it, but I know that's the way it's going. So I had to take myself and follow this journey as well. So I came along to this. I saw Joe last year in London at a progressive workshop, and I said, this is it, I'm going to come back. So I've come back, and what I discovered was that I started feeling better almost from the day we started. But the breakthrough was doing the breath. When we did the breath.
Whoa. He's too old to do the breath.
Well, I am 35, you know.
He went for it. I watched. Go ahead.
It's almost as if the tremors of the Parkinson transmuted into the tremors of the breath. Seriously, that's what it felt like. It's almost as if they were saying, I'm not getting enough fun here, I'm going to see what's over there. The result of that has been that my tremors on the left-hand side of my body have stopped altogether. The pains that I had around my neck and shoulder and legs have gone completely. And all I'm dealing with is a residual tremor in my right hand that's partly due to the fact that standing in front of you lots.
He's nervous.
So I'm just a living example to myself and hopefully to the rest of you that a condition like Parkinson's, which as A, I knew, and B, the neurologist took lots of time to tell me what this was going to do to me. And I got to the point where I'm thinking, actually, maybe people should be given the diagnosis but never given the prognosis. Because once you've got the prognosis, you're on a path. Maybe I'll go back and tell that to my neurologist. He took great delight in pointing out the prognostic steps that forthcoming attractions, as he put it.
Now think about this. Think about this. He chose himself today. I'll just frame this properly. He could have had a reason to not show up because of some voice in his head. It's too early, I'm too old, I'm too sick, I'm just not getting it, I'm not understanding, the doctors told me this. That could have been the story he was telling himself. You know, the story you tell yourself, just a story. And half of it isn't even true. You make it up. And people become addicted to the life they don't even like. They're living a life they never even had, reliving it. He shows up, sets all that aside, curious. He has no other alternative at this point. He's all in. He knows the model of medicine is going to lead nowhere. It's a trajectory based on that Z-curve. That 68.5% that's normal will progress just like this. Maybe some people will progress a little slower, other people will progress a little faster. Then you'll have people that will progress very slow for some reason, and others will get sick and progress very quickly. That's the bell curve. And he shows up, okay? He puts all that behind him. He says, "Get behind me, Satan. Get behind me." Ooh, listen to me. Anyway, he shows up. And he goes after the breath. He goes after it. Take that energy stored in his body. He wants to deliver it back into his brain because that's where the problem is. And he's going after it. And that energy strikes his brain and his body goes all over the place. Just lit up. Just lit up. That energy delivered to his brain. No tremors on the left side of his body. That's what energy does. No pain in his spine or his back. He is more awake. You know, people with Parkinson's have this drawn face. It's kind of a spastic paralysis. It's a frozen look, and he's waking up. We've seen this all the time in the work. People start waking up. They start coming back to life. Now, here's the question. If he didn't show up today, would this have happened? If he believed in any one of those voices, this wouldn't have happened. He got beyond that, yes or no? So here's the next question, and I think he's a smart enough guy to figure this out. What do you think's going to happen the next time he sits down and does the breath? He's going to say, "Let's go. Let's go." And he's going to go after it because he now knows it's the truth. He now knows it's real. Some of you that are doing this breath don't even think that there's energy down there. You're doing it, you don't even believe it. You don't believe that. If you knew there was energy down there that could rock your world, you would be going after it. If you understood you were making love to your brain, well, you would be making love to your brain. You're not thinking about other things when you're making love. You're in. You're present. You're passionate. You got a rhythm. You're focused. You're enjoying it. Just the act. You're caught up in the act. You can't tell him that any longer, that he's too old or whatever, too sick. He is not going to buy that from you. He would never allow that thought to determine his future. This is just the beginning, St. Thomas. This is just the beginning.
The most